Okay, so I'm going to show you the CCTV footage. You've probably already seen it before. I mean, it was the footage that was given out to everybody through all the major news stations. You're going to see a lorry going from left to right, reversing back after it's supposed to have run over some soldiers, and then in the foreground you're going to see soldiers just sort of scattering and causing a bit of chaos. Now, one thing I just want to quickly point out is that this seems to be a common theme nowadays, is that the footage is not raw. What I mean by this is that somebody using their phone or camera is recording, say, a laptop, so the quality is getting crappier, and it's obviously going to be done for a reason because they don't want you to see it crystal clear. But anyway, like I say, it's a common theme just to sort of add to your list of things that seem to happen again and again. So here's the footage in full speed, and as you can see, the lorry's gone through. He's then gone on to run over the soldiers, and your average person who would have clicked that link that I've just shown from the Daily Mail or Daily Mirror or wherever, whatever your newspaper is in your country, you would have seen this piece of footage. They've given it to you. They don't want you to see people getting squashed, but they want to make absolutely sure that you yourself cannot doubt that this has happened. I mean, look, you can see a lorry is driving about, but when you get to sort of our level where you're looking at these things and thinking something just isn't right, that's the moment where you've got to look at these things in greater detail. So let's slow it down. So the very first but not almost immediately obvious when played at full speed is the lorry going through a pole. It goes through it completely untouched, doesn't knock it down, doesn't even make it wobble, and then carries on through people. Now, as the lorry is going through, the lorry shape is just so distorted. It doesn't look like a lorry. Everything just merges into one. Now, in one hand, you could say, well, yes, it might be because the person filming filmed it on the phone, but everything in the foreground remains quite clear, but everything in and around the area is now blurred. Just look at where the truck is supposed to be at the minute. You can barely see it. It's just gone. There's nothing else to it other than saying it's gone. It's managed to hide behind a tree, and we're talking about a truck here. So it eventually then reappears, which I believe is where the sort of splice is, as it were, and that's the point where it really does exist, and then it is just reversing around for the effect, and then everybody's running about, and that's just to sort of take your attention away from things. But remember, we're covering this event because I believe it's the best starting point to explain to somebody that these things do happen. And not only is the footage pretty convincing from a normal point of view, if you've got somebody who's still sitting on the fence with this, then show them where did this footage come from. And all you have to do is simply go on Google Maps, anybody can do it, and you'll see this. This is the best possible angle that you're able to get that mirrors the footage that has been given. It's obviously lower down, but the point is it's pointing at the right angle. I mean, if you look for yourself and if you want to zoom in, you can see the pole in the background. This is definitely where the footage has come from, and this is the best angle you're going to get unless you want to fly out to Jerusalem and check it out for yourself. But the point here is that if you agree that that's the position of where this has been taken, then all you have to do then is turn the camera around to find out what building or what pole has taken this footage, and this is what you're going to see instead. Nothing other than the landscape of Jerusalem city, and this is a big problem, and this is why I wanted to start with this particular event. It's it's effectively the killer blow to the whole thing. Some might say that the pictures from 2011, maybe they've put something there since, but the problem is I've seen so many of these attacks that I no longer deal in coincidences, and what are the odds that this particular camera was put up there to overlook a massive car park and it just so happened to be pointing in the right direction for this thing to happen. And I'm certainly not going to buy that they've put a building there because this is a tourist hotspot. It's like a promenade. People are going there because they want perfect pictures of Jerusalem city. I mean, look at it. You don't want anything in the background whatsoever, so they're certainly not going to put a building there. So the only question that remains is what did take this footage? Well, the only thing that can get that high up is a drone, and that opens up a can of worms because why would somebody be flying a drone just at that point and just so happens to record the whole thing at that particular time? It's just not probable. Whilst I believe this whole event is blown wide open just on those things alone, take a look at this piece of footage that I came across. It's been taken using a drone, which is annoying, but look at the trees. They've got no leaves on them. Yet on the footage that I've shown you so far, there are leaves on the trees. Now, we're trying to get across to the average person that something's not right with these things. These are basic things that people should be picking up on but don't. And at the end of the day, this is their footage. They put it out to you. So you're more than entitled to scrutinise it, and that's all we're doing here. We're just scrutinising what is given to us. We're not conspiracy theorists who are putting different scenarios together based on different beliefs. This is just simply looking at what we're given, asking the question, and then putting it together to formulate an actual conclusion that seems more likely than the one that's actually given to us. So I hope this video helps. I'll make one more to do with Jerusalem just to sort of wrap it up. But the point we're trying to do here is that not just this one event where footage is bad, all events that we seem to be coming across, the footage is bad. And there's a reason behind that, and the reason is because they don't want you to see that it's not happened. I know that sounds daft, but that's the way it is, and that's what we're trying to get through to the average person.